on a different computer today, so I'm hoping that the noise issues are not here today, bar the fact that I've just noticed I left my front door open. That's all right. Hello, Bethany. I'm just looking, it's a little bit different on this computer. It's not too much different, but I can post comments. Woohoo. Awesome. I will grab you guys that are just commenting now, just let a couple come through. So I'll let you know as you come on, you're absolutely going to notice it. My face is still not 100%. It hurts to smile, and so I'm trying not to. But yeah, look, I'm here, I'm human. My face is still a bit sore, so my mouth will look a bit wonky here and there, but you know what, whatever, it's all good. Just give me a, oh yeah, okay, so scroll bar is really, there it is, okay. Nice. Sorry, I'm just feeling around on a new computer. I'm not feeling around, I know what I'm doing, but oh, I've got no banners up. There you go. I'm on it. Do the scam alert just quickly while I'm jibber jabbering, guys. Just I hope that you all know by now. Never send your friend requests. Never send you a message request first. It's unprofessional. These guys are scam pages, so please ignore them. Other than that, let's get started. No pregnancy, no legal, no health questions. As you guys are coming in, as I said, I'm on a different computer today because I believe the other one was having some mic issues. So I'm not a Mac user. I'm getting familiar with my Mac. All right, let's go. Bethany, I'm going to grab you first because you were here. And then I'll scroll back up. Bethany. So guys, please feel free to ask a specific question. Otherwise, ask a general question. That is all good. If you're asking about love, though, let me know what you want to know about love, for example. Otherwise, it'll be a general love. You get the picture. All right, Bethany, let me focus. All right. Bethany. Okay, when I sit with your cards, you've got the grounding card, the transformation card, and you've got the heartache card that sits there with it. So what I want to say to you around that, when I sit with your energy, it's like it's just that I want to take a breath. Okay, so sometimes when we're feeling all scattered, or you just use that word for now, and like, you know, we run into little problems here and there, and we find that everything's just not like, it's almost like we're reaching it, we're grabbing it, but it falls straight through our fingers, you know. And it can be with simple little things and it can be with big things, but it's usually quite a mashup, and it's that energy that I kind of feel around you. And so I want to say just taking that breath, and it's not as simple as just taking a breath, I get that, but it's taking that time to ground and to really kind of just connect in. It doesn't have to be nothing massive, but as I said, that's where I'm sitting with it, and it's like it just pulls everything back up into order. But within that, I'm feeling like there's something that needs to be let go, and this feels like you've got the heartache card there, so yeah, it's a heart connection, but this does feel like it's attached to a person. It doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship energy, but it does feel like it's coming out at least into family, and it's like this relationship just kind of keeps going in circles, you know. And even if it's again, like I keep getting quite drawn to the family, so like what I want to say around that is, even if it's someone that's been in the background that's always kind of causing the problems, or always, you know, that negative person, or always this or always that, it's that problematic, the person that sits in the background. All right, and so that's where I'm just feeling that pull away from. There needs to be a decision to kind of move forward. Yeah, see, there's the word I want to use is shit stirring, where as soon as I put your cards down there, so I caught myself because I'm not supposed to speak. But that's what it is. You've got the betrayal card and the external conflict card right there next to each other. Okay, so when those two cards come down, it's about kind of looking for the wolf in sheep's clothing. There's that thing in the background that's there, that person in the background that's saying one thing and doing another. Okay, and you're aware of this situation and the problems that it's caused. And so just, yeah, don't be afraid to kind of let go of things that aren't no longer serving you around. Okay, particularly in that situation. Yeah, staying connected to yourself, nice new beginnings, which always comes through with that transformation card, calling on your strength and needing to focus on your self-care. And it just comes back down to your grounding. So what you need to know most, I've come this fast, so I'll just finish a pull, is the Unity card that you've got there. And it was funny, I was only just talking about these cards last night, the two love cards in particular, because for me, I believe in true love, and I believe, in what's meant to be is meant to be, and all of those things that are there. But I'm also very, don't do the BS in love, and so when I talk about love, it's genuine and it doesn't have all that into it. By clearing the energy away from you at the moment, doing that hard work, going through that heartache of doing things that you might not necessarily want to do, but know that you need to do, is going to strengthen those relationships around that have been suffering because of this. Okay, so be open to embracing the changes, be open to allowing that transformation. And it's funny, when I sit with the changes card with you, I'm actually thrown halfway through the year and I get quite drawn around what you actually do. I don't necessarily want to say work, I want to say what you do. And so I feel like this is something that you're evolving with. Okay, just making that commitment to move forward. When I sit with that as well, I want to say there's been a little bit of backward and forward energy, so just make that commitment to move forward. Healing card that's there, allow the healing in. This is it's like, oh yeah, okay, allow the healing in. But healing involves so much. It's like all that forgiveness, all of that other energy that has to come into play with it. If you're looking back on something and holding resentment, hurt, anger, ill wishes, whatever it is, in whatever component it is, that's not healed, because we are able to sit with peace when we're healed. And look, I'm still on a healing journey. I'm not going to sit there and say everyone's perfect with it. Oh, it's so easy. I get that goes into it, but allowing yourself that time and allowing yourself that process. All right, so that is what I have for you. I hope that all of that helps, Bethany, and that you have a beautiful day. All right, so I just wanted to catch as well here, and then I'll catch up with the comments. I hope you're well. I am well-ish. I'm well. My face is just a bit my face. I was going to say my face is always a bit just a little bit more today, so it's nice though. It's like, yeah, who cares? It's really nice as you get older, isn't it? And you kind of just go, you know what, I'm just a person and it's all good. All right. Nay. Trust in your intuition. And it's a simple thing to say, but what is around you right now, it's like, what I see around you is, again, it's like, I want to keep it in context, which is why I keep catching my sentence to describe it properly. I'm standing in a circle, there's people around me, and I know that I have to step through those people, not away from those people, but I need to step through those people. And for me, what it feels like, over time, like we have that, we learn our sense of self-worth. We learn our self-awareness. We learn what we think of the world, and we have family and we have friends around us, and they have all their opinions and things like that. And I say this with absolute respect, but sometimes those around us don't necessarily fall on the same level at all the time. We vibrate a little bit differently here and there. So I feel like there's a lot of safe advice coming in around you, a lot of no risk taking, and just really kind of sitting underneath the covers and sort of looking out and going, okay, I'll just wait, a little bit. But I want to say to you, your gut knows better than that, and your gut knows it is time to push through and it is time to step through. And again, this has nothing to do with the actual people. It's just about where you are at and looking at what's around you and knowing what it is that you need to do to actually step through it to get up where you want to be. And again, I want to be really clear, this isn't about discarding, it's about stepping through and becoming who you want to be. You need to call on your strength. And you've got the growth card that comes straight after it, which is exactly just where I'm heading with this anyway. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Take a chance. And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't feel like there's any risk being taken. And we talk about risk in a, sometimes it's a risk that's blind. Other times it's a calculated risk. And I feel like we're more on the calculation side. So being caught a lot in your own thoughts, but that's going to happen when we don't tap in with our intuition properly, okay? Cycles, beginnings and endings are in natural order. And that's what I'm saying. It's time for you to push through and actually take things, okay? So you've got the improvement there of self and situations as well. Let's pull the spread. All right, so yeah, you're holding back on clearing out the stable, so you need to be mindful of that. You know what needs to be done here, but you, as I said, you kind of got that blanket up a little bit and you're peeking out, but it's all good. You've got the love card that follows. Now, again, it's nice because I was talking about these two particular cards last night, because for me, what this card talks about is the truth, the happiness, and the desire within love. And so that's being able to sit within yourself, have your boundaries really healthy, know that everything is nice and balanced around you, so that when love exists there, you know that it's going to be healthy. That's what that card represents. And even when it's in existing relationships, okay? So stand strong. Your decisions need to be for the future, not for what's easier now, all right? You've got the two trees within that spread, so that's really nice as well. What you need to know most for yourself, it's time to confront your fears and let go of the things that bind you, because this way doesn't work. You know what I'm liking on this one here? I can hold the cards and you can see them. I like that. And drop the self-denial, okay? Drop the self-denial and holding yourself in a position where you're, as I said, you're holding back, you're looking out over the blankets, it's time to push through. That's literally what I see around you. So it's not a hindrance here, it's just your own sense of loyalty, your own sense of, all of those kind of little bits and pieces that are there. So I've dribbled on enough with that. I think you get the point. Sit down, really kind of work out what it is that you're needing to do. As I said, I already know that you know what it is. Sit down and make that plan and actually put it into fruition, okay? It'll take you to where you need to be. And even if that place is just peace and clarity, it'll take you to where you need to be, all right? So I hope that helps. All right, let me attempt to catch up with the comments here. As I was saying, I'm on a new computer today. Oh, hello, Saz. You're getting red here. Because I'm still working out the computer. Just give me 2 seconds, Saz. I want to slow the comments down. I'm still working out that as well. I like it when people just get popped up on the screen because it means that you're meant to be read for. So it's lovely to meet you, Saz. Beautiful. All right, there's a couple around as well that I will grab there. So just give me a couple of moments, and Saz, let me focus on you. Saz, I feel like you're actually quite intuitive as well. I'm curious to see if you're actually even doing this work or some kind of light work that relates to it. I think you'd know that, and it feels like this is like a family thing for you. So similar to me, we can trace it back generations. It's a nice strong energy that's there around you. All right, so when I pull your cards, you've got the support card that's there. And when I created this card, I deliberately put the hands around the back, because it is that full. The people that are around you, the people that are giving you the support you can trust on, they have your back, okay? Taking a moment to regroup and recuperate. There's a lot of, when I sit with that card that's there, I literally see a lot of boulders just sitting there behind you, and I'm taken through work and concern around family to do with like their finances and their life and things like that. And it's not necessarily all an immediate energy right now. As I said, it's like I'm thrown back over that, but I feel like you and yourself as well have had some significant changes that have been there, and you've had to sort of move through them. Yeah, and to do with body as well, okay? So we understand what we're talking about. And so the stuff that's going on around you right now, okay, and I'm talking about for you personally, so still keeping what we've spoken about, but just when we talk about you personally, okay, I want to sit and just say with you that there's work that needs to be done, but they show me that everything that's happening now will shift out in around 6 months, okay? And again, this isn't necessarily linking to work and things like that. It's more so to do with you, all right? You've got the letting go card, releasing binds, and these are things that hold us back and things like that. And it's interesting because, as I said, you've got a really empathetic energy. Like, you must feel so much around you. And I kind of feel myself wanting to go, no, I need to watch here, when I want to let go. But it's time to clear out the stables, out with the old and in with the new, and standing strong. And you've got the growth card that's there behind you, okay? So there's a lot of nice energy that's there, but there's this really big, I say it with a smile and I say it with respect, but I'll always be honest and I'll always be straightforward, okay? But there's a big ball of like stubbornness sitting there in the middle of it. And so just kind of taking a moment to see, you feel like glue. And when I say that, it's like you're the person that holds everything together. But, it's when I say that, I've got a vision of you kind of holding onto this and onto this and onto this and onto this and onto this. And you're holding everything, and there's no room for you in between all of that. And I can say to the cows come home, you need to take some time, you need to do this, and you need to do that. But just have a look and see where everything's kind of sitting right now, okay? And have a look at the culmination that built up to that. And so don't be afraid to kind of break it back down into its groups and, reorganize, reassess. And as I said, for you and yourself that's there, I feel like there's a lot of focus that needs to come back in on you, and that there's a little bit of a journey that's there attached to it. But they're showing me again around that 6-month mark, okay? I'm going to really super duper pull your rest of your spread quickly because I've done everyone else's. So. Yeah, okay. So when I pull the rest of your cards, you've got the clearing out the stables card, as we've spoken about, stand strong and stand growth. They're a little bit caught in your thoughts, but we know that already. There's a nice energy that's there around you, and I want to validate that. It just feels like even when I talk about that 6 months, I don't want to say that that's all like hard and crappy and everything else like that, but there's 6 months of focus. As soon as I jump down and I'll jump onto your prosperity card, I want to jump over that. And they show me that there's, if I sit around Christmas time, basically, I know I'm feeling really good. The weight's off my shoulders and I'm feeling just, that loose feeling that you've got when it's a really nice day and you're just like, it feels nice to be alive today. That's the feeling that I'm sitting with towards the end of the year. So improvements on self and situations, but it's important that you make decisions based on what's better for the long term. Understand that beginnings and endings are a natural order. And again, you've got that moment where you need to take a chance, trust your intuition, pay attention to your health, and call a little bit more on your strength, just as I said, just to pull everything in, put it into its order, and then keep moving forward, okay? So I hope all of that helps. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure to read for you. All right. I wanted to grab this one just for a second. Hey. I'm not sure. Sorry, what your name is? Ty. Oh, no, that's thank you, isn't it? So we're just going to go, hey, Ty. Anyway, I've stopped dribbling on. I was quite drawn to your question. May I ask how to remove the blockages in my life? And you know what? I hear myself say it a lot, and I have heard over the years all the feedback from it. And so I know the initial reaction on this one generally, but I stick with it because I know it works. First off, you got to take that grounding side of things, okay? Take time. What are you drawn to? You're drawn to the water, you're drawn to the bush, you're drawn to, building, you're drawn to what is it that makes you feel, happy or good or being able to release. And take the time to purposely sit in that space. Take that time. A really nice Reiki session, if you're able to access that. Otherwise, something that you can find online, either the YouTube, you can listen to a meditation and that. But just a really nice chakra alignment. Reiki is perfect for that, but absolutely meditation can work wonders with it as well. And it is setting that intention as well. This is generally shadow work. It usually comes up because there's things that you need to deal with about yourself that keep cycling through that you have to move forward with. And so it's like, hey, guess what? We're going to make life difficult until you actually start to pay attention to this. So it really takes some deep honesty and some reflection. And, when we do that and come into a conclusion, for example, I can be very self-critical. I've heard that numerous times. So I've got to be aware of the consequences of that, because that self-critical person tells me I'm not good enough, and so if I don't face it, if I don't do the shadow work with it, then the consequences of that, as you said, similar thing, okay, which is why I wanted to use it as an example. So removing those blockages are there because it's time for you to actually do the work that's sitting there, all right? And when you actually reflect and sit honestly within yourself, those blocks will actually be highlighted. They're not there from other people. They're not there from the universe going, oh, I've got to hold you here for a second, okay? It's that big collaboration of energy that's going, hey, it's actually time for you to move forward. As again, notice the cycles, okay? Those blockages that are sitting are personal journeys that you need to sit and tap in with yourself. All right, so I hope all of that helps. Definitely meditation and things like that. And just YouTube, guided meditation to release energy blocks, guided meditation for chakra balance, all of that sort of stuff, guys. If you're not able to access it or you don't want to meditate on your own, YouTube's a fantastic resource. Make sure you look me up eventually, though, because I'm on there too. All right, Happy birthday, Leanne. And you know what, while I'm there, I'm going to do a big shout out, happy heavenly birthday to my grandmother today. And I do believe that there is a couple of other friends whose mums have birthdays in heaven as well today. So wherever you all are, happy birthday. You're in good company there, Leanne, good company. Talking about some amazing, beautiful, powerful women. All right. Let me bring the focus. When I pull your cards, I get reminded that age is a number, and again, I'm full of the cliches today, but you know what? Talk about like end of life and death, and oh, I don't want to get old and all this sort of stuff. And I'm not saying that's where you're at today. It's a thought that's coming in my head as I'm shuffling, so I'm going to share it out. But one of the things that I've learned definitely along the way, it's not the fear of getting older, and it's not the fear of death per se that concerns us so much. It's the fear of being unhappy or not doing what we wanted to do, or getting to that point and we're like unfulfilled and all of that. And I know personally for me anyway. And so it's almost like you stop counting numbers once you're sitting in this place of contentment, and that is where I feel like you're at. It's like you come into that point where you're like, you know what, I'm yeah, you're stepping in your own skin and you're owning it and all of that. And so I want to say to you, like, a massive happy birthday in the regards of it is happy. It does feel good. And it feels like, as I said, when I pull your cards, I'm just reminded how well you're slipping into your own skin. And so, yeah, just wanted to share that out as I was pulling the cards. All right. So you've got the transformation card, blossoming into your true self. Yep. Yep. What I just talked about. So then you got the healing card. So being patient and allowing healing to come in. And it's a card that I can skip over and so easily, but it's got one of the biggest energies in that card. And I don't like to dribble on maybe when I do readings, but no, anyway, Liz shush. What I want to say around that, healing is a big thing. It's taken the time to sit with those things and put perspectives on them. And as time grows and as we evolve, our perspectives are able to shift. And sometimes we don't look back on things because, they're sitting in their own little component. But when we actually take that time to reflect back on the things that we need to let go of, we realize that we're in a different place with it. We're able to put different perspectives, different information to it and actually let it go. And so I just want to say, kind of allow yourself that. It almost feels like there's things that you kind of leave back there and that's where they stay, in fear of not wanting all of that emotion around you. But I just, as I said, you really do feel like you're stepping into your own skin. And so anything that you feel yourself holding back from, even that healing of what we were talking about before with the self-criticism and things like that, because sometimes that damages things that we've done to ourselves as well. So forgive yourself too. And that, keep that in context, because sometimes it's as simple as going, I wish that I had finished that, or I wish that I had started that, and things like that. And so you're going to have all of that energy and all of that time around you. As I said, it really, literally, even as I say it, I see you putting on a suit skin, which probably sounds a little bit creepy, but in my mind, it's not. It's actually really beautiful, and it's you stepping into your own. It's time. You feel it and you know it. It's time to collect these things, confront your fears, because some of the things around you, and I only want to say some of the things around you right now, you know that you've kind of reached that dead end with it, and it's time to shift energy out. This is including with you as well. Like, it's never too late. Sometimes we go, oh, you know what? It's, I'm 25 now, I can't do that. Or I'm 30 now and I can't do that. Or I'm 50 now and I can't do that. But I say bullocks to all of that, and just, let yourself really shine in your own light. You've got the self-denial card that's there. And so, again, it doesn't work, and keep that self-denial comes in different ways. It's self-sabotage, it's refusal, it's denial, it's, caring for everyone else before we poke at ourselves. You get me, all right? And so if I keep pulling your cards, you've got trust in your intuition, all right? And so it's just that, like, just trusting that you're ready, trusting that you're the things that you want to do, and that those little goals that you've set for yourself, and this is what I want to achieve, and everything else like that has a really nice, strong energy to it, okay? So paying attention to the long term of your health, and this includes like your mental, your physical, emotional, and all of those things that are there. And that's what I'm saying, like stepping into your own skin and healing and confronting fears and releasing those dead ends and, releasing that self-denial is where our health comes from, and all of those parts of ourselves. And so there's just a lot of prompt here. This, yes, it's your birthday, and I've definitely jumped on that energy, but I really want to kind of set this focus and this goal that this year I matter, and again, not to say that you haven't in the past, but this year I really matter. Staying connected to yourself. So you've got the beautiful sign from Spirit that's there around, and it's interesting because we're talking about all the spirit around for the birthday, and so now you've got your Spirit card that's there. So you've definitely got well wishes from heaven today. Worries and doubts, putting them all just at one point at a time. And I say always that, look at it like a pie. If these are all of our problems and these are all of our issues, if we look and we slice it up and we tackle one thing at a time, it's a lot more easy to eat than it is like a whole pie at one time, okay? Oh, that's interesting. You got that card anyway. I kept seeing that card when I was shuffling them. So these cycles, beginnings and endings, they're in natural order. And that is just, again, just allowing things to pass by as they need to. So what you need to know most for yourself, there's a nice shift and a nice change of luck that comes in. This energies are shifting for the better. So that specifically says energies are shifting for the better, because where energy goes, energy flows. And so I want to be really clear around that, is because it's the effort and the energy that you're putting into it that's actually going to make that change of luck come in. All right, so be mindful of your balance and be patient. Good things come to those that wait. But the thing is around, and specifically why I put the seedlings on these cards, is just that, you got to be patient. But if you plant that little seedling, pardon me. Sorry, guys. If you plant that little seedling and you don't water it, you don't nurture it, it's not going to make that time. And so it is about being patient, but also nurturing along the way. And joy. Joy is a really nice card for me in this deck. It's peace, happiness, and harmony. I very specifically use the word joy and not just happy, because for me, this card represented a culmination of those things being in balance, things being good, okay? So it's nice, but just know that the change that you want to see is the change that you will create, okay? I feel a lot of love and support around you, though, when I say that, and I want to smile, too, because I hear laughter with it, too. So, yeah, enjoy the journey forward, but don't be afraid to take what is your turn. 2022, it's all about the year of it's my turn. So yeah, go for it. All right, let me catch up with the comments and the times. All right, so yeah, okay, beautiful. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where the bloody bar is. There it is. It disappears. Belinda, I'm really sorry to hear that. I can't help but reflect, and it's interesting because everything always clusters, and I know I've spoken about that numerous times on here before, but just that energy around where sometimes when the world gets swept out beneath us, there's other spaces that get opened on the other side. And I want to be delicate with my words, because sometimes that is a loss and it's a grief process that needs to be gone through. So it's not like just going, well, it doesn't matter, we'll just move on. Absolutely not. But it's also about just recognizing the spaces that are created within, which is a really, I know, useless thing to say when you're right in the throes of it. I understand that, but the energy seems important in that there is another chapter here. Okay. So when I sit with your cards, you've got the trusty intuition, and I feel like your intuition's actually going to be peeking around you over the next couple of weeks. And look, it always does when there's something that has happened or something that's playing on our mind a lot. It's usually one way or another, where it's like we feel completely shut off and we're abandoned, or we get this huge influx around us. And I want to say I feel that influx around you. Allow yourself your own space and time and thoughts, because it feels like there's a lot of, your own thoughts. You've got, obviously spiritual support that's there, but all the people as well. And it's like there's a lot of information that's coming in. So at the end of the day, just take a breath and sit back with your words, and that's where you'll find your center. Sunset. But tomorrow is a new day. Now, with this card, I have a very specific energy, and I know I've said it 100 times, but I'm going to share it because it's relevant today. For me, this card, it always takes me back to a fair. Okay, I love the fairs, I love the rides and all of those kind of little bits and pieces. I'm a big kid. But it's about kind of, you set out on the journey with anticipation, and you have a great day and you ride the rides, and you might be a bit hungry at times, and you eat crap food and you get thirsty and da 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 da. And at the end of the day, you kind of sit back and you look back and you go, you know what, my feet are sore and I'm sunburnt and I'm tired and I'm ready to go home. But I had a great day. I don't regret the journey, but I know that it's time to move on. And that's exactly what that card represents. All right. So taken 5 after all of this, as I said, just to recenter, find your center, regroup, recuperate, do all of those things. This is a moment, and I would not take a single thing away from that. But I just want to say to you that there's another chapter that sits, as I said. I've pulled cards for everyone to pull today, so seems the theme of the day, so I'm going to do yours as well. So if I follow your cards, you've got the freedom card, okay? Now this talks about release and self-love and determination, and it does take that. It requires you to focus in on yourself and to honor yourself to reach that freedom. So stay connected to yourself, okay? Being in a position of self-denial to appease others, okay, or to punish thyself because we think that we're not worthy, or whatever circumstances come into that card that's there, I just want you to be aware of it, all right? Stay connected to yourself so you don't fall into that position, because then you get the transformation that falls straight after it, all right? If I follow your cards through, you're going to get caught a lot into your own thoughts, but again, leaning back onto that support, letting go of what binds you. And you've got the growth card that sits there as well, which is nice. It's, again, this journey is going to teach you things. I always laugh. It never ceases to amaze me. Again, we're sitting there last night having the conversation around, why challenges come into, like, when you're a good person and you're doing everything right, but you just keep like getting pummeled, and things like that. And what we were talking about is like in the lessons is the journey, and it's where we take all of the good and the bad and everything else like that. And so it's, we both sort of sat there and come to the conclusion, at times it is just going to suck. There's no if, buts, and maybes around that, but within that, there's always a line of hope. There's always a line of light, and it's about holding on to that and following it through. So what I want to say as well, all right, it looks like, again, there's people when I come this in around, and I want to go onto that side of advice, that looks like a duck and it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck. It is a duck, okay? Make sure you see things for what they are. I feel like there's somebody around in the background of all of this whose advice is either really way off as far as like, oh no, that didn't happen, or they're trying to make you look at things that aren't the way that actually they really are. So again, trust in your intuition, all right? Know that you're secure in your choices moving forward, okay? Know that you're safe, and use safety in that bigger word of, as I said, financial, housing, all of those kind of things that say you're safe. You've got the heartache, challenging matters of the heart, but, heart-shattering news generally is. So keeping yourself nice and grounded. And again, I know it's simple advice. Oh, just go and ground. But I'm telling you now, grounding. We're in an electrical system. The earth is an electrical system. I cannot describe the benefits of keeping yourself grounded enough, especially in times of dire stress. Okay, so taking that time each day to sit, breathe, center, allow yourself to feel. Okay, so I hope all of that helps. But the biggest thing around it behind, again, I keep wanting to turn a page in the book. I keep wanting to turn the page in the book. And right now you may need to stay on that page for a moment. I want to respect the moment that you're in. I feel that it deserves that. And you might not be ready to turn the page, but I want you to know that there's another beautiful chapter that sits there. All right, so I hope all of that helps. All right. So I'm going to grab you, and then I'll catch up with the comments. Alison. Hey, it's really nice to see a lot of you on from YouTube today too. Big shout out to all of you. So guys, I'm not here on Friday. I have a previous commitment that I am not going to be around, and so I am doing a live feed tomorrow night as well. Just give me 2 seconds, I'll snap some cards. All right. Got your deck on's a jumpy for you. That's all good. So when I pull your cards, you've got the male card, be positive, and the catch the rainbow. Everyone's had a full pull, so I'm going to do your pulls today as well. A full pull. Yeah, nice. I want to, I'm good at giving people kicks up the bums, and I want to give you one today. And I want to do it with a beautiful smile on my face and go, gee whiz, you've got an awesome energy attached to you, but it is time to kick your ass a little bit, okay? So you've got the male card that calls out first up. And this card, yeah, absolutely can represent a male, but I'm focused on you, and it talks about calling on your strength, okay? Calling on your strength. So this is, the female card talks about, you know, the shifts and changes have got to come from within. This talks about, you know, knuckling up, pulling out those muscles, pulling up that gumption and really getting on with it. Being positive, your attitude is a choice. And what this card represents, again, absolutely, is that even when circumstances around us aren't ideal, it doesn't mean that we can't stop and see a beautiful flower. We can't stop to see the sunshine. We have a choice. And I know that sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow when the, you know, where it's like, I want to be, but it's like, no, you've still got a choice on how you're going to deal with things, you know? And so just checking in with yourself, that's song stuck in my head and I've got to get it out, otherwise it's going to be stuck with that, you know, always look on the bright side of life. Anyway, that's as much as I'm going to sing because I can't. But that's a song that comes into my head with that. And knowing that your goals are not impossible, you know, I feel like you've moved forward and kind of been kicked in the butt a few times by Earth, you know, and you've had to kind of stop and start. And that there's been things before that possibly you wanted to do that you weren't quite able to reach over. And even within yourself, perhaps you weren't in the right place or time to actually finish those at that time. But I don't want that to dictate this, you know what I mean? You have a fresh energy, and we learn something new every day, and we grow every day, and you're ready. So just don't let anything in the past actually make the decisions for you in the future, okay? You need to start stepping forward without having all of the information. The time is never going to be ideal, as I said, and this card specifically does represent that the answers are blowing in the wind. Lessons are within. And that's what I say. If there's no journey, there's no lessons. You know, that's where life comes from. That's where our balls come from as our lessons, all right? So where are you? Where are you? What is it that you want? This card is a big card. It's probably the biggest card in the deck, and that's what it talks about. Where are you? If you were told right now that you've got 6 months left to fulfill everything that you want to do, and then that's it, that's what you've done. What's missing? What comes to you? Oh, shit, no, I haven't done that yet. I want to do that yet. Oh, I really wanted to do that. Why didn't I do that? All of those things that come into your mind are still there. So, you know, I always say, write a list and then write another list. And, you know, if that top one up there is like, I want to jump out of a plane, then first thing on your list up here is going to be go find people who can help you jump out of a plane. You know, you write a solution list there after it, but being open to embracing the changes that want to come through. It's you're all good, you know. And look, you ever remember, like we talk about black sheeps and stuff like that that's there? I feel like you're a little bit of a black sheep, and I was always a black sheep. And all that talks about, it's not being odd, it's not being an outcast, it just talks about the fact that sometimes we're in an environment that we've got to coexist in for a little while, but it's not necessarily ours, and so we don't feel like we're going to fit in, because you're not ever going to fit in, because it's a moment, it's not forever, okay? So acknowledge that. The frustration, but I'm sure there is. Okay, improvement of self and situations, but when we start to actually make the commitment to move forward. So you have a decision, you're at that crossroad, all right, but you need to release what no longer serves you. It's time to let go. Now, this is a volcano, and I specifically use the volcano. I've got 2 clear out cards within this deck, and this one talks about the fact that this isn't new. This has been festering for a long time. Think about the volcano. It sits there all pretty and beautiful as a tourist attraction for 1,000 years, and then freaking boom, and wipes everything out. That's what happens when we sit and let things fester and fester and fester and fester. They will find their own way out, okay? I've got to do it. I was going to say, like, even my mouth, absolutely. I have not been talking as much as what I usually do to, like, you know, friends and other people that support me. And so all manifested in my mouth and let go. And that's what happens. Metaphysics is real, and it's a beautiful, amazing thing. So you've got the no card last. So yeah, all right. So you need to, when the no card comes down, it's what you need to focus on as far as the no or a yes goes with you. And with this card here, it's specifically that external conflict that's coming in. It's causing too much disruption on the choices that are for yourself, okay? stand strong in that honor. And even if that honor is for today just this much, you take that much and tomorrow you add a little bit more to it, okay? But you need to pay attention to your long-term health. This is your jump card that's there. So you need to pay attention. What you need to know most for yourself, let me get the card, is the take a moment card, I believe it was. Yep. That's it. So rest and gratitude are needed. And that's where what I'm saying, even on a cloudy, crappy ass day that's there, go and appreciate the droplets and how beautiful they look against a green tree. Find the beauty around you because it will bring gratitude into your heart and that will strengthen you to no end. Internal conflict, caught in your own thoughts a little bit, but you need to have a little bit more self-trust and self-belief because that is absolutely where it all begins. So stop procrastinating. All right. You're creating delays to avoid action and it's time to head forward. All right. You've got such a beautiful, nice energy that's there. You've got a lot more to come in front of you that's, going to be lessons and journeys and all of that sort of stuff that's there. But go out and embrace it. It's going to have fun and laughter and beautiful friends along the way as well. But I can see you've still got a journey ahead of you. And I'm going to be honest with you about that because the opportunities within that are so abundant. Okay. So embrace it. Embrace it. You've got a strong energy. All right. Keep your creativity flowing around you as well, Alison. I feel like it's important. So I hope that helps. All right. Nez. Lots of open tabs. That's a brilliant way to describe it. I like that. So I can see now all these folders in your head. All right. Your cards are wanting to jump. Duh. That's what I have to say to your cards. Duh. And the reason why I'm saying duh and coming in with the duh is because, Nez, I feel like you are well enough. Like when you make it, what I thought was funny anyway, like lots of open tabs going on in my head, they're open. And I know that you need to close them. So I want you to take a little bit of time to, sort your filing system out, basically, which falls into your self-care card, as I said, which is like, I'm like, to find your balance, you're caught in your head. So let me continue on with your cards because the first three are definitely just describing the situation. I feel like there's some decisions that need to be made around work. I feel like there's some people that are either that you're dealing with on a business side of things or that are sitting above that are kind of, I don't want to say saying one thing and doing another because it's not as extreme as all of that, but it's like I need to pull in some reins and I need to tighten up some systems. If it was a bucket, there's a hole in the bottom and you got a leak. Okay, that's what it feels like. How much of those files are actually yours as well? How much are you actually holding on to that? I know you might go, I don't know, I've got to sort that out, but do you? And I challenge you with that one just to kind of make sure that you're, keeping open what needs to be open, but shutting off it doesn't need to be open. It's a little bit of your personality, I think. I think you and I are similar like that. You've always got just 100 things on the go anyway. So kind of, that's all right. Needs to be a family situation that needs to be taken care of, but people aren't in agreement around it. There's like this conflict over it. But there's an initial, and when I say initial, before all of that, there was already a plan. Okay, so I want to stick with that plan. Gee whiz, your head's full. It's literally like it's such a relevant thing that you've used. Give yourself like the day off. And I hear your thoughts, But, just being able to go, okay, well, I'm going to go fishing today. I'm going to go stand by the water. I'm going to go do this just for a couple of hours before I go and start and tackle all of this. It's almost like, that saying, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Then what that dullness is, the no creativity, no answers, no clarity or work or focus doesn't allow time for clarity to come in, okay? So as much as you feel like you've got a million things to do, I feel like you need to have a million and one things to do because you need to take some time out. Even as I said, even just a couple of hours to fresh the mind. You've got a lot of external conflict cards coming through here. You've got the sheep in the wolf's clothing, you've got the external conflict card. That point on having to call on your frustration. But again, I'm wanting to separate that more so like around the work side, which I've spoken about, but also family matters that are there. It's like, as I said, one person thinks one way is right and another person thinks another way is right, and then there's the plan in the middle. That will just need to land as it lands, okay? We're aware of what needs to be happening. If some people don't like it, there's not a lot that we're going to be able to do to shift that, all right? With yourself, take a chance. Nothing changes if nothing changes, all right? And I feel like this is into an idea that you've got, and you've got this idea now, okay? It may just be something that tosses around into your head, but it sits there with it. And it may even be like just something that's pleasurable for you. I want to go traveling, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. There's definitely something that's financial attached to it. So I just want to say that it's got a nice energy that's there with it. Uncertainty. Yeah, I know. It's time to clear your mind. We know that. Just pay attention. Like, when I do a reading, and even on the live feeds, I just channel in. Whatever I get comes from up there, and I just channel through. And so I know when I sit here and I'm staring, and I've got, like, I'm doing thoughts running through my head and my words stutter and everything else like that. That's your head that I'm caught in. And so just, really take that time. Like, stress serves us no purpose, okay? And sometimes, we tend to think we're thriving on it, and we're actually not. So take 5. What you need to know most is you need to take 5. You need to be mindful not to step in a place where you're denying yourself, not looking after yourself properly, okay? Be mindful of your intentions. Where energy goes, energy flows. And you've got a really nice energy to manifest. And so with that, taking a chance card that's there, like, I want to smile with that card. I want to say to you, like those things that you sit back and you go, that won't work. Yeah, it will. All right. And so I want you to throw some energy around with that. Knowing that beginnings and endings are a natural order. Okay. And so I feel like there's a few cycles around you that are closing out. And these feel like a lot to do with ways of doing things as well, not just necessarily like, work's closing out. I'm not saying work's closing out, just an example. This is closing out, that's closing out. It's not like that. It's like, again, beginnings and endings, they're a natural order, all right? And these are things that have got to do with, even as I said, your own ways of doing things, all right? So I hope all of that helped. Definitely give yourself that space and time and clarity. It's funny. People, and I'm not saying that you are, but some people come in looking for these really big solutions and sometimes the answer is so simple. It is just that. Go and sit back within yourself. Take a little bit of time out to laugh and just play for a couple of hours. And those things it's like you have those aha moments through that time, all right? So I hope that helps. All right, let me catch up with the comments. Tell me this gets easier. Why is it? Oh, there we go. So what I've got to do? I don't know. I'm a PC user. I've had this MacBook sitting for a while. Come on, just give me the button. Fuck it. All right, Carly, where are you? There we are. Scatterbrain. I'm having a scatterbrain moment trying to work this bloody scroll bar out. Don't worry. You're absolutely welcome, Naz. Absolutely welcome. All right, what time is it? 2:52. So, guys, I'm going to do another 2 after this one. The rain is nice, so I have to pick up my little ones from school because you won't get on the bus if it's raining. All right. Carly, let me focus. You win the biggest jump of the day. That one was decent. You know what, Carly? Like, I know that you make reference to it as a scatterbrain, but to me, I actually get excited when I tap into your thoughts. Like, I feel that you've got a lot of energy that's just wanting to go forward, and so you're kind of doing this, but it feels controlled. And so at times I'm sure it does feel like, but it actually does feel controlled. It does feel like underneath everything that feels wayward, you do know the direction that you're going. You do know what it is that you need to do. So, don't overthink. And I know that's an easy thing to do, but overthinking is actually a habit. And it's something that we can work on, because we can think about it in a neurological pathway. We want to interrupt that neurological message that's, making you overthink. And so think about playing music, dancing, something funny, all of those things that are there. Putting on a song that we like and singing to it completely throws off and changes all the neurological, even changes what side of the brain that we're using. And so that overthinking is released, and if we keep forcing that, then that habit starts to die out, because every time we go to do it, it's thrown off. So just keep that as a little bit of food for thought in the back of your head, because as I said, I do actually feel that you've got a nice sense of control, even on the days that you may feel like you don't. So when I pull your cards, you've got the frustration card that's there. And look, when we've got all of that energy sitting there, absolutely. But I do feel like you're actually trying to make some decisions around a particular person. And I want to say to you, just trust in yourself and the energy that's there. You can trust everything that you see. Okay, you can trust it. So even if it's a red flag, or if it's a white flag, or whatever else that's there, I'm not saying either way, but you can trust it. All right. And for me, honestly, like, it is a really good feeling. I don't want to sit and pretend like there's something hidden there that you need to, you know what I mean? I really do actually feel a nice, genuine energy that's there, but nothing is perfect. Okay, so I just want to say to you, you can trust and you can feel safe in that. So catching the rainbow, your goals are not impossible. And when I sit around you, I actually want to I'd be quite curious to see if you're either quite autonomous within your work and on your path up there, or if there's a little business idea that's spinning around you. It feels like it's nice and full of energy. Your goals are not impossible. Your goals are not impossible. Your goals are not impossible. For some reason, I want to go to a house around that as well. Okay, so there may be a move that's coming up that you may feel like it's not going to happen, but it will. Within 12 months, there's a 12-month timeline on you, and I'm wanting to go to the 12 months thereabouts around with it, and it's showing that the things that you're sitting and bringing into fruition now will come into play there. Now, I don't necessarily want to say, for example, like if it is buying a house, that if you start today, that 12 months' time it's going to happen, but I absolutely will say in 12 months' time, you're going to have a very clear goal of when that's going to happen, and it's not like, another 2 years, okay? It's like, it's almost like, okay, I've done this part, now I'll move on to the nenext part. Not just about buying a house, obviously. I'm not making it all about buying a house, but it's that kind of reference that I'm wanting to go to, okay? There's it's sparky. I just want to kind of like dive into it. The pot of rainbow gold's like literally glowing at me. So heartache, challenging matters of the heart. Now, when I sit with that card, I actually want to connect to friendships around with that. Sometimes people are for a reason, sometimes they're for a season, and just kind of allow what no longer serves to move. And if you're not being honored within that, and you pull back and you find that it doesn't come, I don't want to lose you as a friend or whatever else like that, you kind of need to see it for what it is, okay? And yes, it's a challenging matter of the heart, but it's not one that's actually going to break you, all right? So changes, like energies are shifting for the better. So again, just kind of bring that control back. Where energy goes, energy flows. So if we allow ourselves to kind of overthink, then the energy gets a little bit scattered, all right? So you've got the spirit card that's there. And for me, when I made this deck, that card is 100% a sign from spirit saying, yep, we've got your back, okay? You've dreamt recently. Like, and when I say recently, I always kind of give about 3 months on that. But as I put that card down, as I go to continue on, they're telling me that you've had a visit. I feel like I'm drawn to your grandmother for some reason. I keep seeing her, but a connection to a loved one in spirit. You've got a friend that's passed as well. You've got a few little spirits around that come in and around you. So now you've got lots of love and support that's there, okay? You've got the crossroads card that sits there, decisions, choices, and directions. And so where you're sitting at the moment, take the choices and make the decisions that feel the most like, oh my God, because they're the ones that have got the energy into it. And you've got it. You've got everything you need. Know the support around you is genuine. Letting go of those binds, and for me, again, the overthinking, the procrastination, all of those little bits and pieces that just get in the way. You've actually got a really nice, strong thought process. New beginnings, which is really nice, okay, but just knowing life shit happens, and that's just about going, okay, I'm not going to let these little problems that are in the way turn into mountains. I'm just going to keep going through, keep doing what I need to do. So call on your strength with that. So what you need to know most, Self-trust and self-belief is where it all begins. So stop procrastinating, just as I said. Be open to embracing the changes, and that's what I'm saying. Take the choices and make the decisions that are like, oh, they're the ones that are going to pay off. Okay, you won't find much satisfaction in the easy ones, and just keep moving forward. You're not going to have all the answers along the way, but the answers are in the journey. Okay, so I hope all of that helps. All right, 2:58. I know I said I'm going to do 2 more, but I think I only got time for 1 more. Just received the famous friend request. So really, they're still at it? Yeah, I have found that calling them out on each of my posts stops them from at least sharing my post because it says that they're scam artists on there. But yeah, guys, please ignore the friend request. I will not send it. It's so not professional. Doesn't mean I'll ignore your friend request if you send me one, but I'm not going to send you one. This is not professional. So yeah. All right. Let me catch up with the comments. Oh, that's right. I don't know how to catch up with the comments. I know there's a MacBook on user on here right now. Just can't just do this. It's there and it's not. Oh, whatever. I don't know. Like, I've got a bunch of comments in front of me. I'm not missing all your comments, but I want to scroll. Hello, Wendy. All right, guys, so as you start to scatter out for the afternoon, I am here tomorrow night. I am not here Friday night. Thank you very much for all the well wishes over my sorry ass mouth. It's definitely getting better, which is good to feel. But other than that, Wendy, I'm going to take some time to focus on you now. Guys, thank you very much for joining me for today's live feed. Please like my page if you haven't already, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. All right, Wendy, let me focus on you. You got both of my love cards. All right. Yes and no cards are big today too. All right. Interesting. Yeah, Wendy, I'm just going to give you everything that I've got here, okay? So when I'm pulling your cards and shuffling your cards, it's there, and I'm sure you've heard it a million times before, which is why I kind of just, giggled and let it go. But Wendy from Peter Pan, and I'm not even overly familiar with Peter Pan, but for me, I'm drawn to the magic that's there around it. It's like letting magic happen, not to feel like fairy tales aren't there. And it's an interesting energy. So anyway, as I continue to pull you down the cards, that's why I kind of went, oh, okay, you've got the love card that's sitting there. So you've got the grounding card, which talks about keeping connected to yourself. And you've got the unity card, okay, which talks about love and relationships and trust. And you've got the stand strong card. I want to say to you very clearly that if you're already in a relationship, this is definitely about improvements thereof, okay? And your relationship with yourself within that. If you're waiting for love to come in, this is like, yeah, right there. But I feel like there's had to be something let go of in order to actually move forward here. Okay. So, and that can just be ways. I'm reluctant to grab onto the whole relationship here. It could just be the ways that are there within it. Now, you've got the grounding card, the unity card, the stand strong card, which talks about this, and it is just that you've got this, and it's like, you've got this. So the love card, for me, as you may have already heard me talk about, it's the fact that you know enough about yourself to pull the truth in all of these things. Truth, happiness, desire, all of those things. It looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, even in a beautiful ducky way. You can trust in that because you've got everything you need. So you need to look after yourself and you need to allow the healing to come through. You're holding on to something that no longer is kind of away anymore. And again, that's where I'm so reluctant to drop off a relationship here because I'm feeling all of this beautiful new growth on the other side. Okay. So keep it in the context for which it is meant in that specific way. Now, when we let go of what's there, all right? And so that's what it is. It's like not wanting to let go. You've got the growth card that sits there with it, and just knowing that this way does not work. This way does not work. It's a dead end. It's the end of the road. It's not going any further. So make the commitment to move forward. Take a moment, and you're going to move on towards better things, okay? So what you need to know most for yourself is letting go, releasing the binds that hold you, okay? If there are relationships that are in a certain place that you're reluctant to lose because you don't, like, losing the place means you lose the friends or the connections that's there as well, just know that those connections won't be lost. All right. Just for whatever reason, I feel like I need to say that. So self-trust and self-belief is where it all begins. All right. And again, just you've been there, done that. You know what is happening here. So you've got the crossroads cards, making a decision that's there, okay? So choices, decisions, and directions to move forward, and a little bit of uncertainty. Yeah. The uncertainty is coming around because you don't have all the information, all right? And the information that's being given to you isn't necessarily all accurate, all right? So stay connected into yourself. One of the biggest resonating messages as I reach the end of this reading is definitely that, is that you know the truth, okay? And like, keep that in context. We're not talking about, oh my God, there's something big and sinister going on and all the rest of it. That truth may be a simple, you know, I love vanilla ice cream. It's not as simple as that, but you know what I mean? I want to just for you to really trust in the information and the energy that is coming in and around you right now by doing everything that's there right now, by doing those things that you know that need to. It's like everything comes in and makes that perfect bubble right there. The energy that comes in after that, Woods, if I could smile properly, would give me that big smirk on my face that hurts at the moment. So, yeah. I know that that's I can feel myself jump in, but that's because I jump in with the energy, and there's so much energy that sits in here, and I kind of want to go off in all the different tangents. But definitely that biggest underlying message that I just want to repeat as I wipe out with you is just that trusting in yourself, bringing it back down. The things that you know need to fall into line are here, okay? The things that you've been working towards are sitting there, all right? But just know, again, that we can't hold on to what has been to be able to take in what wants to be, all right? So I hope that helps. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure to read for you. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. I love cards. Yeah, with someone. Yeah, Wendy, that's exactly, yeah. That's why you've got all the love cards that sit there with it, okay? As I said, release what has been, and that may just even be your thoughts and your notions and all your preconceptions and experiences and everything else that's there. What you have within you is enough to make this flourish, okay? If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. You've got to call it out as well, all right? And so just know that anything that needs to be released is absolutely going to be replaced, all right? So I hope all of that helps. All right, guys, so I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. It's been a pleasure to be back, and look forward to the next time. Bye.